All right, man. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom, man. First and foremost, I want to say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So I praise to the Most High God, in the name of His only begotten Son of the world, ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man. And what a great day. What a grand, exceptional day that the Lord has made in Dallas, Texas, man. Errol Spence Jr. came by camp and was edified, man. He wasn't on some, like how a lot of celebrities do. They walk by, they don't really care. They pretend like they care, but they don't really care. This dude was actually attentive and took the flyer and actually came back. This ain't on camera. This last part I'm about to say, this ain't on camera. He went into, I believe it was like either traffic or one of the other stores downtown Dallas, took the flyer and came back with the flyer still in his hand and hopped in the car, bro. Visually seen it, right? This he actually took the information, heard the information, encapsulated it, and then took it at least home with him. At least, man. And it's a great time, bro. And matter of fact, before we even go into that, I'd be remiss not to say this. Y'all see this man? You see the banner behind us, right? I'm gonna switch it in a minute, but you see the banner behind us. Tazadak made that, right? Malak Tazadak. Now, what y'all need to do, while the prophet's still here, give this man Tazadak his flowers right now, because this man is the apostle to the celebrities, bro. No matter where, every time we go, for some reason we go to the Big Eyeball downtown. We don't go there often, as often as we used to. We got other spots. But every time we go there, this man will find a celebrity and damn near will them into coming into camp or near the camp, or toward them being edified. This man is the apostle to the celebrities. Give this man his flowers, bro. Tazadak is a pillar in the SICARII Dallas camp, bro. Tazadak is a pillar in this freaking this movement, this nation, bro. That's who Tazadak is, right? And he's also a budding Photoshop user. This dude is getting really good at graphics. If y'all follow him on the internet, wherever, look at the stuff he posts. His graphic skills is getting top notch, man. You see it. You can even see it right here. Look. Like, you see that? That's Tazadak's work. Everything you just, like, if you want to just stop and pause and look at it, or look at the thumbnail for the video we're gonna drop. I'm gonna drop the raw footage tomorrow. That's Tazadak. That's Malak Tazadak. This man puts in work, right? Puts in work. So what I want to do, because I know a lot of y'all probably watched Deacon's reaction, or y'all seen Tazadak post a video today on his channel. I want to show what I was going into before Errol Spence came by, because it's crazy. Because I'm gonna go into all this today, but it's crazy how the Lord do. Like, I wasn't even gonna really teach this type of lesson when I was on the streets that day, but it's funny. Well, it's not really even funny. It's like it's fitting. It's fitting when you actually look at it and then look what happened, right? And let me just go to it. While I'm just speaking about it. Let me just go to it. Judgments of everything immediately having market, all that other stuff. For real? Yeah, because I'm going into Revelation. I believe it's 7. Revelation 7 about the 144 being sealed, right? Once this truth and this gospel has been preached into the ends of the earth, the ends of the earth, to where all the nations can see it, then shall the end come. That's what I'm going into, right? I'm going into the scattering of Israel. I'm going into the destruction of America, as prophesied in the Bible, right? I'm going to all that. It's a Republican service announcement: Russian mercenaries suspected dead, plane crash in Russia. FYI, we can look into it. We can look at, not on this live, but I'm definitely gonna look into that after this. That's some current events for you, right? But I'm also I'm talking about the current events, but notably in this part right here, the elect being sealed and people having to hear the word of God, so the judgments can be dealt out to this place, so we can be saved. So watch this. Everything immediately having market beast, all that other stuff. For real? Right there. You see that? You hear that? Tazadak's pointing them out. Every time we go somewhere, this man is going to find some sort of a celebrity, because this man is an apostle to the celebrities, right? He says, there go Errol Spence over there. I was like, what? Nah, for real? I said, is he really over there? He said, yeah. Watch this.
Right there.
All that other stuff. For real?
Yeah. Word. Right there.
Yo.
EJ.
Yo, if you get out, you want to talk to him?
He in the car?
Yeah, he about to get out.
I'm talking to him.
Give me five. Hold on, wait. Give me five.
Nah, y'all ruined it. Y'all ruined it. He moving up there now.
Nah, he about to.
Who was it?
He going up there.
Okay, he ain't gonna turn around.
Give me a flyer just in case.
I think he was gonna carry around. Don't let that. They're saying don't hurt the earth or the sea or the trees until the elect has been sealed, right? That's why it's important for us to do this, even if it's just one person to come by and stop, right? And that's another reason why I like the eyeball so much. Every time we go out there, the traffic isn't like Deep Ellum, or it's not like other spaces. It's kind of like slow. It's like slow, concentrated traffic that goes through. And we'll be out there for hours, and sometimes it'll be a day where we talk to a whole bunch of people, or a day where we just talk to one person for a long period of time. It happens that way every single time. But it's like what we're saying is people try to look at what we're doing as something that doesn't really matter. All these people out there just yelling at people, but what they don't understand is every time we go out there, we talk to one person, and one person can be the difference between maybe that one last person, that one last of the 144 being sealed, so we can get up out of here, right? What we do is very important. The type of seeds that we sow into this nation, and the work that we put in out there, hazarding our lives for this gospel, it's very important. Ultimately, for your salvation, especially all those people who want to say, oh, y'all, all the camps are wicked and stuff like that. Well, that's cool, but where do y'all go outside and teach? Anytime people want to type something in the comment section, everyone type something in the comment section about, oh, y'all are this and y'all don't know that. I'm like, oh, where do you teach at? Because if we're wicked, somebody has to rise up in our state to teach the nation, and we don't see y'all doing it. But you know who we do see doing that? The One West based camps. You see the people prophesying to these celebrities who need to hear this word just like how y'all do. It's the One West Israelites. As much as y'all want to talk mess about us, we're the ones outside teaching the people and getting us closer to our salvation. Because we have to seal the elect so we can get up out of here.
That's right.
And for us to get up out of here, the trees and the earth and the sea got to get affected.
That's right.
AKA the judgment's got to get dealt out. And this is the only way to get them dealt out. That's the only way we get up out of this place. This place has to go, right? Because give me Isaiah 13.
Isaiah 13 and verse 19. It's like in verse 17. Behold, I will stir up.
Oh yeah, and there go Mathathia, right? Get them likes up, y'all. That helps us in the algorithm. You know, a lot of y'all want to just dine and dash. You could dropping a like is free. Dropping a like is free. When you drop a like, it does something for you in the algorithm that puts you higher than other videos, to where other people can see this who aren't in your viewership. So other people outside of your viewership can see your videos, which helps you get closer, which gets you closer to the elect being sealed, because somebody else can see that video and they come into the truth. Do that, man. It's free. If you love God, and you love your nation, drop a like on this video, bro, or drop a comment too. Why you
against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
So here's the thing: we know ancient Babylon was taken over by the Medo-Persians, right? They said they should not regard silver or gold. They're not going to care about their financial structure. That's why they created their own financial structure called the BRICS.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces.
Their bows shall dash the young men to pieces.
Came back up
now, that's something that we should think about too. How would they destroy America? America's supposed to get destroyed, or let's just take America out of it. Babylon's supposed to get destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed.
That's right.
How did Sodom and Gomorrah get destroyed?
Nuclear fire.
Well, I wouldn't say nuclear fire. And there go your Tom's overzealous ass. Just overzealous. This man says nuclear fire for any fire scripture that ever exists in the Bible. I would say nuclear.
I mean, I just love it, bro.
Fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone rain down upon it.
That's right.
How would fire and brimstone rain down on a nation?
Nuclear fire.
That will be nuclear fire.
Right.
Nuclear missiles will be shot from one end of the earth to the other. Like it says in Second Ezra. Right? Those are those bows that's going to dash the young men to pieces. Go ahead.
That's right.
And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Their eyes shall not spare children. Why? Because I believe it's in Revelation 11, the only people who's going to survive the fire is going to get brought down here is the elect and the 1/3. Right. The elect of the elect and the 1/3, right? That's the only people who's going to get saved and delivered from this place. Oh my God, is that really him?
That's it, yeah.
Yo,
that's really him.
And there it is. He swings right back. It happens every time we go somewhere and Tazadak see a celebrity. He points them out when nobody on the damn planet can see them, right? They for some reason the Lord just wills them to come all the way back, and then they end up getting a flyer, or we say something to them. It never fails. That's clean.
That's clean. That's clean. Hey,
that's clean.
Errol Spence right there. I need to get autographs and shit.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get him over there. Y'all zoom in, bro. Get him. There we go.
Go. So and then he gets out. This isn't on the video that dropped today. When he got out of the car, a lot of money fell out of his either lap or his pocket, which is crazy to be doing in downtown Dallas. I mean, I love the brother, but I don't recommend that at any time of day in downtown Dallas. So that's the end on this part. I sent Yotam over there to get some footage, and that's when the video starts. So let me tee this one up real quick. Let me tee this one up. I think it's this one. There we go. Right. So then I send Yotam. I say go over there discreetly. And then that's when this video starts. See, like I said before, when he opened the door, a lot of money fell out. So now it's literally playing from the exact point that we just seen from our cameras. It's for the camp cameras, right? I'm gonna play this all the way through. I might stop it here and there, but then I want to go back through it and analyze the information that was given to him. Because like, yeah, we're doing a reaction, but I want to give something to the nation as far as edification, or if Errol Spence Jr. sees this video again, to really dive off deep into the things that was said to him in that short amount of time.
America just came over here from West Africa in different places. They came from Israel. When the Roman Wars came, they drove us. Get the fly. Got to know that. They drove us out of Israel, then we went into West Africa. Now, once we was in West Africa, you ever heard of Mansa Musa, the richest man on earth? We was over there dwelling in around 1500s. Prince Henry came and started taking us from the west coast of Africa to different parts of America. What up, Lotto? To different parts of America. You know what I'm saying? So that's how some of us got in the Caribbean, some of us in Brazil, some of us in different spots.
So y'all gave me something that's today.
Soaking in it. High over trying to be like all the hustlers. They don't tell you what's it cost.
But the ones in Brazil, in the Caribbean, is like me and you. We from the tribe of Benjamin. And the ones that's in America predominantly from the tribe of Judah.
So at this point, right, we're gonna go back all the way through this again, because I mean this is a short clip anyway. But what he said is, the reason why we're over here in America is we got scattered after the first Roman Jewish war, right? We got drove into Africa, and then from Africa we went to a place that was nourished for us, like the wilderness, uninhabited lands, right? Throughout various parts of Africa, ultimately to the western side of Africa, where the slave trade happened, which he pretty much talks about, right? This brings us over here to America, because that answers the question he asked. I don't know if y'all heard it on Deacon's Live or on Tazadak's video, because he asked, why are we in America then?
It's the same tribe Christ.
So why you got this squad?
Because they was talking about the song Kodak Black. No, he an Israelite. He's from the tribe of Atlanta. Yeah, no. Kanye said we the real Jews. That's what he got all that money took away, because he know who we really is. The scriptures that say we was melanated people. They say the Jew. They called us nigga in the Bible. And then they wrote the Bible. That's how you so good in the ring, because the Most High bless you with that. So never forget that, and you come from respect. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6 right quick, y'all. Give me Deuteronomy 7. Get it. Let me show you something. Let me show you what the Lord think about you. This is the only way you're going to get somewhere in life. Anything else you got, then if you ain't got the Heavenly Father, it's going to come to naught. All right, give me Wisdom of Solomon 9:6. Yeah, Deuteronomy 7:6. Wisdom of Solomon 9:6 right now.
For thou art an holy people.
You a holy people, go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God.
To the Lord thy God. Possessive pronoun. You only belong to him, nobody else, go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He chosen EJ, go ahead.
To be a special people.
Read on.
Unto himself.
Read on.
Above all people.
Not equal.
Above all people.
Above all people. So you above all other nationalities out here. Because you come from the Heavenly Father. He dealt with our fathers like he dealt with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
That are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. And that's the heritage, that's the lineage you come from. Even when we at the bottom, we still find a way to rise to the top because the Lord put that spirit in us. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're doing wicked right now, you got to come back to the commandments. Watch this before you go.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9:6. It says, for though a man be never so perfect among the children of man.
So, you know, we so regular people fluid, you know, you get a little money. It's perfect to everybody else in the world, but watch this, go ahead.
Yet, if thy wisdom be not with him.
So, but if you ain't got the wisdom of the Lord, go ahead. Knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, knowing what you're supposed to do, go ahead.
He shall be nothing regarded.
Nothing regarded. So at the end of the day, everything else you got is vanity. If you ain't got the wisdom and the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, knowing where you came from, you're going to be regarded as nothing. So the only way you're going to be regarded as something is to get into the scriptures and know where you came from, bro.
That's right.
That's the only way. Know you an Israelite, your true ethnicity. I'm going to give you another one also. Our flaw now, everything.
Instagram, all the information, YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, we used to be in the, hold on, I used to be in the club, we used to be in the club together and everything. We snapped it up before. Watch it.
Yeah, I'll see y'all in the sun.
Yeah, because then they pretty much give their little, they pretty much just, I guess, exchange IG information and show them a little bit of stuff, right? Oh, he shows him a little bit of stuff. So what I want to do now is I want to go back over this because there was a lot of information that was given to this man, like a lot of abridged information that was given to this man, like shortened information so we can get it real quick, right? He basically told him how we left Israel, went to Africa and got here, right? That you're chosen above everybody else because the world tells you opposite of that. The world tells you that you're nothing. The world tells you you're just black. The world just looks at us and everything they want to paint us as is everything that's negative. Like when you look at a black movie or you look at movies centered around black people, most of the time it's about drugs, alcohol, weed, freaking we're shooting each other, we're killing each other. They propagate all the bad things of us to make us feel like we're nothing and have the whole world believe that we are nothing, right? To the point where we do that. And when we do that and operate in that spirit, it's easy for us to hate each other, right? But you see 1 John, I've been on my 1 John 5:2 kick in a minute, right? Where it talks about to actually love the children. Let me get this real quick, actually. Let me pull that precept real fast. I've been bringing that precept out quite a bit here recently. 1 John 5 verse 2. Is that on the screen? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, 1 John chapter 5 verse 2. It says, "By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep His commandments." Right. So the only way we would even love God or show ourselves to love God is to keep the commandments. They've told us we're black. They told us we're nothing. We're Afro-American, African-American. You're nothing. You're just a nigga, XYZ, everything under the sun, right? So when we do that, we don't think we're nothing. And when we don't think we're nothing and we detach ourselves away from the Bible, the scriptures, the things that's been written to us and only us, right? We start to hate each other in our actions. Right, it makes it easier for us to kill somebody. It makes it easier for us to make rap songs about getting over and finessing each other, just being evil, because we become detached from our God and detached from our way of life, which is the commandments. And when we get detached from keeping the commandments, we can't actually show love towards each other because we don't, first and foremost, don't know how to love our power. If we don't know how to love our power, how are we going to be able to love the person right next to us? Right. That's why it's important to tell our people that we are the Israelites. We're not just freaking just people who've just been made to hate each other and kill each other and be in darkness for all of our lives. That's not who we are. That's not what we've been set out to be, right? So knowing that information, this is why we do things like this. This is why we'll divide off a portion of our camp to go over there to tell somebody like Errol Spence Jr. or other people over there that they are Israelites, because that's getting us closer to what I was telling you about in the beginning of this, having all the elect sealed. That's important, because that's the only way we're gonna get up out of this place, right? Because somebody like Errol Spence, let's say he takes this information and run with it. This man has a massive following. He could push this way farther than we could in one day, right? Things like this get us out of this captivity faster and faster. We're already drawing near the end of Esau's reign. Especially when you see niggas making money the way they're making money now. If they give money like this to niggas now, this place is out of here, bro. This place is up out of here, right? But let me go back into this. Let me put this back on the screen. Right, let's jump back to this.
When a Roman towards wars came, they voted Israelite. That's what it missing.
Let's dive off into this information that was given to us.
This child that came from Israel. So you're an Israelite. That's what it missing. You too, ain't you? What you want? So where everybody from America? America just came over here from West Africa in different places. They came from Israel. When a Roman towards wars came, they voted. Get the flag. Get the flag. Got to throw that.
Right. So what he's saying it to him, what he said to him is this, right? He told him, "You're an Israelite. We know where the land of people don't want to know where the land of Israel is. They know it's on a different side of earth than this. So logically, he asked, well, if we come from there, why are we over here in America? Now, Tazadok said, well, because of the first Roman and Jewish war, right? We got dispersed. We had the diaspora, right? That's part of the title I put in here. Errol Spence Jr., Here's the Truth, the Diaspora, and More, right? Part of the diaspora, we were spread off into Africa and various other places, and really all nations like Christ prophesied. And we can pull that in Luke chapter 21. Right, I'm going to actually read this all the way through and then step through it. Right, Luke 21:21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Wait, is this on the screen? Yes, on the screen. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter in thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which were written may be fulfilled. Right? This is talking about the destruction of Jerusalem and the destruction of our temple, which we see in Daniel 9, which we're going to get a little bit later. Right? This that first Roman and Jewish war. Right? So it says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So starting back up, right, and trying to summarize what we've read all the way up to this point from Luke chapter 21, verses 20 through 24, right? Christ is saying, when you see Jerusalem's compassed with armies, right, just know this place isn't about to survive that, right? You're going to lose your temple. Your sacrifice oblations are going to cease, and you're going to be carried into captivity, not only here, but to all nations. But he's giving you a warning saying to flee. Where did they flee to? A place that was specifically set out for them, right? You see that in Revelation chapter 12. So let me go back into this. Luke chapter 21, verse 20 is, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. All the prophecies regarding 70 AD, all the prophecies regarding our temple being destroyed, and the Gentiles ruling over our land, right? Because it says, is this right here in verse 24, so they should be led by, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations until the time that the Gentiles be fulfilled. Right? This is proof that there's going to be a people who pretend to be Israelites. Because right here, Christ literally says, let me zoom it down so y'all can see. Right? It's in Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Their time is over with. Till their time is over with. So they're going to be in control of it till the time is over with. So there's going to be what? An imposter pretending to be a Jew. Right? While the rest of the people of Israel are scattered into other nations. That's what's happening right here. Now, when you go back into 22, let's go into the things which are written that have been fulfilled, namely Daniel chapter 9. Let's go into some prophecy, man. Right, I'm just going to skip to the part that's relevant, right? Because this is in Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. Really, the context really starts at 24. You can scoot up a little bit farther, but 24 really, where it talks about the 70 weeks, right? So it says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 60. Wait, matter of fact, I'm gonna jump into 26. My bad. I'm starting at 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the Prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. The same desolations is talking about in Luke chapter 21. This is what's happening right here. Christ is talking about this specifically, right? So when it talks about the 62 weeks, that's plus that 7, so that's 69 weeks, prophetically times 7. What is that? 469 times 7. That's 483 years from that commandment, which was about, what is that, 450 BCE, right? So that's right around the time when Christ would be killed. What is that, like 30-ish AD? About 30-ish AD. Right now it has that offset week in verse 27. Daniel chapter 9, verse 27 is, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. This is that last week out of the 70 when you read this in context, right? It says, and in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Right? This is why this is two things. This is why we don't give animal sacrifice anymore, because we don't have a temple anymore, and it was prophesied that it be destroyed and that it would cease. And secondly, this is talking about that war, specifically what Christ was talking about in Luke chapter 21. Now it's talking about that week. We know that's prophetically each one of these days is a year, so that's 7 years. So remember how we were talking about how this is talking about the Roman-Jewish war. Conveniently enough, the Roman-Jewish war was Roman and Jewish war was conveniently enough 7 years, and we're going to prove that. Anybody could just Google this right now. Anybody can look at any type of scholastic source, right? This popped up on the screen. Yeah, first Jewish-Roman war. It says First Jewish-Roman War, 66 through 73 CE, also called the First Jewish Revolt of the Great Jewish Revolt, spanning from 66 CE insurrection through the 67 CE fall of Galilee, the destruction of Jerusalem and the Second Temple, and the institution of Physis Judaeus in 70 CE. Right now, going back into Daniel chapter 9, it talks about in the midst of the week, right? Directly in the middle of that 7 days, right? Directly in the middle of that 7 years, from 66 to 73 is 70. What happened at 70 CE? The destruction of the temple. This is what Christ prophesied about. This was a diaspora. After this led into a, what's going on right here? Okay, well, that's an option. That's going to bother the hell out of me, right? That led into that diaspora that Tazadok is talking about, right? In Daniel chapter 70. So going back into Luke 21, Salakia. That's really gonna bother me. Hold it real fast. Give me 1 second. Salakia, right? That I had to take care of that. That was gonna bother the hell out of me, right? Going back into what Christ is talking about in Luke chapter 21, right? It says, "And when ye shall see see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto." Right? Leave here. Christ is giving y'all a warning. Leave here and don't come back when you see this. Right? Verse 22, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled," like Daniel chapter 9, and the various parts in the prophecies that talk about 70 AD or reference 70 AD, about us losing our temple, about the Romans taking over Jerusalem, and the scattering and the diaspora thereof. Right? That's what Christ is talking about. What happened here? Right? Now going to 23, it says, "But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon his people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations." That's the diaspora. That's after when this event happens. That's when we go from multiple different places. That's when we leave Judea in different directions. And one of the notable places we went to is Africa. That's the wilderness place that was prepared unto us. This is what Tazadok is referencing before he got to the point where we went through the slave trade. Saying, "They shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time that the Gentiles be fulfilled," right? Till their age is over with. So now let's go to specifically about that place is prepared to us. This is Revelation chapter 12. I keep mentioning it, right? It says Revelation 12 verse 13. It says, "When the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child." Right? That's about the Roman Empire persecuting us, just like what they did in the first Roman Jewish war. Right? Verse 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent." Right? So like I said before, how we'd go to a place, right, and we'd be nourished. This into the wilderness, this is what I was talking about specifically, because we went there and we became prosperous for a time for people. We had a nation, right? We had a little bit of sovereignty within ourselves. We had internal conflict like all nations do, but we had a little bit of sovereignty from the freaking Romans who were trying to kill us. And the way we're going to explain all of this, and the way we're going to show how I came to these conclusions, is by reading it in context. The thing Christians accuse us of not doing, right? Let's start at verse 1, because it's going to say the same thing, right? And it's damn near going to give you the time period when this happens. Now, Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars." This woman contextually is who? Israel, right? It said she was clothed with the sun and the moon, right? And the stars. These are luminaries, right? I go into this all the time. This is the light that was given unto us. This is what we're clothed in. What are we clothed in? The law, statutes, and commandments, the word of God. That's what this is talking about, right? And you also see I think that's, what is that, Genesis 37? Is it? I gotta look at it. Genesis 37 about Joseph's dream, where it literally calls his brethren stars specifically, right? It might be either 30, it's either 37 or 47. I have to look at it, right? But we know through the precepts, we know through just context clues that this is talking about Israel being this woman. And it says, she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered, right? Pain to be delivered, well, that's delivered is going into salvation specifically, right? Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads, right? That's going into the revised Roman Empire, right? They had 7 heads, 10 horns. That's talking about what will originally spawn out of them, right? EU, NATO, all of that, right? That's what that's going into. It says, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So starting at the beginning of this, it says that his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, right? Who was in Judea at the time that the Romans had power, right? Who was in Judea at that time? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Those 3 tribes was there. When it says it cast them to the earth, we see in multiple contexts, even in this chapter later, about how the dragon was cast to the earth. This is going into being in subjection, because you have the heavens, even in this context, the heavens being in a state of rulership, or being on the earth is you being in subjection. So it's just like with the Israelites. There's no in between for us. You're either in the heavens as far as like you're in rulership, or you're at the bottom. You're dealing with the curses. So right now, right, who had the 3 stars, the 3 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, in subjection? The Roman Empire, right? And it says it stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, right, to devour her child as soon as it was born. This shows you verbatim this is Israel. Who tried to kill Christ when he was born? Damn Herod, right? What is his nationality? He's a damn Edomite, who's part of this dragon. These Caucasians, these damn troglodytes, man. That's what this is going into specifically. So going into verse 5, it says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God, unto his throne. This is talking about Christ. I mean, that's very clear. I don't think we need a breakdown, but I will do it anyway. It says, do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway, right? It says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations. We know who all the dominion is going to be given to. We see in Daniel chapter 7 about the Son of Man coming with the clouds, and all kingdoms and dominions shall be subject to him. That's a Christological prophecy. This is Christ specifically, right? And she'll rule them with a rod of iron, and as her child was caught up unto God. We see that in Acts chapter 1. When they're gazing up, matter of fact, let's go to that real fast. Just real quick, just to prove that. The ascension. All right, Acts chapter 1, verse 9. This is when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received them out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall come in the like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So you see him go into heaven with the clouds, and you see he's going to come back from heaven with the clouds. You see that in Revelation chapter 1. You see that in Daniel chapter 7 about the Son of Man coming with the clouds. This is showing you a direct, matter of fact, 2 direct precepts about how Christ was the one that was caught up into heaven in Revelation chapter 12. Right, because you got, like I said, Daniel chapter 7, Revelation chapter 1. So I'm reading verse 5 again, then we're going to get to the main point. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne, and the woman fled into the wilderness. This is what I was talking about before. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Just a period of time specifically, right? Because I want to stay on topic, right? It's basically a woman fled into the wilderness. What is the wilderness? An uninhabited area, an uncultivated area. And that's what we fled into after we left from Judea. We left from Judea into a place where we began to be sovereign. We began to establish ourselves. That's why I say should feed her. That's going into at least a little bit of prosperity and sovereignty, and going into proving the wilderness is an uninhabited place, because they'll be like, oh, you're just saying that. But let's go into the Greek. Let's see. This is going to play out of this. This might play out of my focus, right?
Strong's G 2048. Eremas.
Strong's G 2048, right? When you go down, the way it's used is solitary, lonely, desolate, uninhabited, used of places of desert wilderness, deserted places, lonely regions, and an uncultivated region fit for pasturage, right? And that's what we had. It was fit for pasturage. Oh, so I didn't even know somebody posted it right here. That right here, that's what I was talking about, right? About how Joseph had that dream, and it literally calls this. If you read it and interpret it correctly, it's talking about his brethren being stars, right here, like the 11 stars made obeisance to me, right? That's what I was talking about the Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, about the woman with stars as Israel. Great precept. I knew it was Genesis 37. Right, but the point I wanted to make right here is an uncultivated region fit for pasturage, right? Pasturage means where you can till the land, where you can actually be prosperous in. And we have that. And then through our migrations in Africa, we went to Western Africa, right? Where places where it was fit for pasturage. Then what happened when we got there? Then the slave trade happened. Then here comes the white man. Because here's the thing. When we go back into Revelation chapter 12, verse 14, yeah, it says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she was nourished for a time and times and half time from the face of the serpent, right? For a time we was away from the serpent, but now here comes the transatlantic slave trade. Here comes the damn Dutch, the Portuguese, damn America. Who else? Who am I? Spain, French, all of them. Here they come now, right? Because them going into the wilderness is uninhabited place that's right for pasturage, right for being basically being tilled to where you can grow things, you can have agriculture there, you can have some sovereignty there, right? That time that we was away from the serpent is now up. Here comes the transatlantic slave trade. This is how we get to the Americas. This is how EJ's people can get to the damn either the Caribbeans or the West Indies, so they can be brought over here to an America, right? Whether they either came here on a ship or came here voluntarily, right? To the Americas. That's how all that stuff happened, right? I'm trying not to cuss, right? I'm trying to be a little bit better. Right? But that's the transatlantic slave trade. Let me get something about this real quick. In the Britannica, because I want to prove it. I really want to have this video out because I want to. What the heck? Is that what I'm looking for? That is not what I'm looking for. Let me see something. That's what I'm looking for. Is it on the screen? Yeah. I want to have this video because I want to have a video to where it's like, I don't think I have any videos on the channel where I literally go from Judea to America. right? And this is a good stepping stone for that, right? Just in case he either watches it or just for people on the channel who want to go from point to point to point, right? So we got to where we were nourished for a time in West Africa and various parts of Africa, really, right? But let's go into this transatlantic slave trade. I want to read this first passage. I want to get a precept. I want to come back to it. Right. It's out of the Britannica. It says transatlantic slave trade, segment of the global slave trade that transported between 10 million and 12 million enslaved Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas from the 16th to the 19th century. It was the second of the three stages of the so-called triangular trade in which arms, textiles, and wine were shipped from Europe to Africa, enslaved people from Africa to the Americas, and sugar and coffee from Americas to Europe, right? This is the transatlantic slave trade, sometimes called the triangular trade, because it's already been proven with what's been said there, right? So, did I have a map? I think I have a map for this to show what this looks like. You know, Jay got to see pictures. I think I had one. Let's see if this shows up. Looks something like this, right? This is how the transatlantic slave trade went, right? They had goods go from Europe, go to Africa, enslaved Africans, right, which was really Israelites, went over here to America and then went to Europe, and it just kept going back and forth in a triangle. That's how the transatlantic. That's a basic way of how the transatlantic slave trade went by, like how it went through in the annals of time. So going back into this, let's see, right? And also, man, dang it, I should have made that point when I had this up. Let me show this again, right? This is also how certain of the northern tribes, like Issachar, like in Mexico, and the Aztecs, the Mayans, this is how they went to Europe too, right? Because some of them, you see right here, it says the enslaved Africans going from Africa to Europe. It also went through where, because like it said, they were sending over materials and raw materials to Europe. They also had Native Americans there, namely of like Gad and Issachar and Zebulon, all of them, right? Through ships, through cargo ships, right? And that's also how you would prove how they fit Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. I've heard some dummies get on the internet and talk about, well, they don't fit Deuteronomy 28, 68. Like you have to literally be willfully ignorant to not even look at any type of you didn't even try to search it. Like you didn't even try to be like, you know what? He said the Taínos and the islands. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like you have to be willfully ignorant to not even look to see if they went through any type of slave trade, right? But this happened like with the Portuguese and Spain, the conquistadors, 1400s, right? I believe that's actually in this article that we're going to read. But let's go to some props here real quick about this scattering. Zechariah 1. I've been chewing on this prophecy for a minute. Zechariah chapter 1. I've been on Zechariah 1, Isaiah 13, and 1 John 5 and 2 for a minute. That's what I've been on for at least a good 2 weeks, right? So let's go to Zechariah 1 verse. Let's start at verse 18. It says, "Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw and beheld 4 horns, and I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem." Now, when you see wording like that, you know, obviously, anybody who has any biblical integrity, this is talking about the entire nation of Israel, right? Literally, Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. You can't even try to play any games. Oh, it's just Israel. Only Judah has been scattered. You know, I got people talking about in Isaiah 11. It's been scattered. Stop it, bro. Like that. This is one of many cuts to that. But the whole nation has been scattered. When did this happen? In the transatlantic slave trade, and we're going to prove that. because it said the four horns. These four horns are, like I said before, America, the English, Spain, and France. That's the four horns. And we're going to read about that in this same passage that I pulled up a minute ago. Let's bring that back out. Where did it go? No, not that one. Where is this at? There we go. Let's read the next one. The next passage. It's on the screen. Yeah, we good. It says origins of the transatlantic slave trade of enslaved people. By the 1480s, Portuguese ships were already transporting Africans for use as enslaved laborers on cane plantations in Cape Verde and Madeira Islands and the Eastern Atlantic. Spanish conquistadors took enslaved Africans to the Caribbeans, right? And this is where you start seeing Benjamites, right? This is specifically because you look at the chart, right? We got the Israelites who are in the West Indies, the Caribbean islands, places like that. We have that as Benjamin. We have plenty of videos on proving who the tribe of Benjamin is, right? This is where you see them going there. Specifically from the white man's mouth, right? Because a lot of people will be like, oh, here y'all are just saying that, but here's the white man saying it, right? He's taking these people from this place to the Caribbean islands. It says, but Portuguese. Oh, I want to make one quick point before we go any further, right? Spain, and Portugal. I'm not about to say they're specifically the same, but they're the same group of Edomites. Like it's really interchangeable with them, right? But it says Spanish conquistadors took enslaved Africans to the Caribbeans after 1502, but Portuguese merchants continued to dominate the transatlantic slave trade for another century and a half, operating from their bases in the Congo-Angola area along the west coast of Africa. The Dutch became the foremost traders of the enslaved people during the parts of the 1600s. And in the following century, English and French merchants controlled about half the transatlantic slave trade, taking a large percentage of their human cargo from the region of West Africa between Senegal and the Niger rivers, right? And it's crazy because the Dutch came out strong, but they ended up fizzling out, right? Because it talks about the four horns. They would be listed, but they ended up fizzling out and giving way to the English, America, French, and Spanish. Dutch just fell out. Even when you see America being created in Daniel chapter 7, where it talks about the three horns that fell for the three horns that fell to create this little horn, right? This is going into the four horns, literally, like really a parallel. Let's bring that out real fast. Right. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7, right? Oh, let's go to verse 8. It said, I consider the horns, behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and beheld, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. This is America. That's that little horn, right? Those three horns that got plucked up is 3 out of the 4 that we mentioned in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18, right? With America being the little horn, than the other 3, like with France, Spain, and Britain, right? Through the various wars, through the various financial transactions they had, America came to be. These are the 3 horns that got taken out so this little horn can exist. And this little horn became a major player in the transatlantic slave trade, right? That's why it's part of the 4. So these are the 4 horns coming out of Rome, which would be the 4th beast you see in Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. It says, after this, I saw in the night visions, and beheld a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns, right? Just like how it talked about the 10 horns on the dragon in Revelation chapter 12. It's talking about the same thing, the revised Roman Empire, because the one before this in verse 6 is the Grecians. Before that, the Medo-Persians. Before that, Babylon. It's in succession. So who succeeds Rome in verse 8? This little horn, which 3 horns was taken out to create this little horn. And that was France, Spain, Britain, and really, well, it's those 3, right, to create this little horn. And all of them together create the 4 horns, the 4 horns that scattered Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The scattering is talking about slavery, bro. I'm tripping. It's talking about slavery. And the way I would prove that is, let me get this real quick. Deuteronomy 28. We already know what those are. We already know what Deuteronomy 28 verses 15 through 68 is talking about. That's talking about the curses. So let's read one of these curses. Deuteronomy 28 verse 64 says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people, and from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and sourness of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Why is that? Because your children and you will go into captivity, and you'll have no might in your hands to save them. So when it's talking about this scattering in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18, how they scattered, these 4 horns have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. This is talking about into captivity. We've proven who these are through documents about the transatlantic slave trade, and we've showed a parallel prophecy in Daniel chapter 7 about the 3 horns that was rooted up to create this little horn, which ends up being the 4th horn in Zechariah chapter 1, right? Which is America, because America became a great player in the transatlantic slave. That's why they have so many damn slaves here to this day, right? We read about it in history, read about it in school. You hear a lot about it, right? Let's go back into this. I think there's a little bit more in this. Right, where did we stop off at? Okay, it says in 1713, an agreement between Spain and Britain granted the British a monopoly on the trade of enslaved people with the Spanish colonies under the Asiento de Negros. I wonder what that word means. Right, I'll look it up. It says Britain was entitled to supply those colonies with 4,800 enslaved Africans per year for 30 years. Golly, bro. Think about that, bro. 1,400 enslaved Africans per year for 30 years. How many? Let's look at that. What a hell of an agreement that is. That's per year, 30 years. Good Lord. 144. 144,000. How quaint. How quaint. 144,000. Look at that. That's great. How pathetic is that? Wow. And these are the people that these Christian apologists want to now just absolve of all crimes. People who made a deal that they would give the damn, what they say, give to Britain, literally give to Britain 144,000 enslaved Africans over a course of 30 years, and now that salvation is open to these people, bro. Come on, what kind of God do we serve? Let's be honest. What kind of God do we serve? That is just amazing. It says the contract for this supply was assigned to the South Sea Company of which British Queen Anne held some 22.5% of the stock. Probably no more than a few 100,000 Africans were taken to the Americas before 1600. In the 17th century, however, demand for enslaved labor rose sharply with the growth of sugar plantations in the Caribbean, right? There goes Benjamin again, in the Caribbean, and tobacco plantations in Chesapeake, in the Chesapeake region in North America, right? There goes the little horn being the damn little horn. It says the largest numbers of enslaved people were taken to the Americas during the 18th century, when, according to historians' estimates, nearly 3/5 of the total volume of the transatlantic slave trade took place. So that's how the little horn became the little horn, right? 3/5 of it, 3/5 of the total volume of the transatlantic slave trade came from damn America. That's that little horn. We can play game. People want to talk about it's the Vatican. It's the damn Vatican. That's the little horn. No, this little horn is the same. This little horn is just like the other three horns that had a slave trade that was enslaving your black ass and took it to a whole nother level. Like that's what they did. So this little horn is part of that damn three that are the four horns that scattered all of us. This is proof and evidence of that right here in the Britannica. So let's go back into that prophecy. Right. This is Zechariah 1 verse 18. It says, then lifted I up mine eyes and saw and beheld four horns, and I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? For he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Right. This is all them totality, basically separating us and scattering us into damn near all damn nations, specifically. And this is imperative. It's imperative that it even says four horns, right? Because I think I was listening to a class about this the other day. Like the four horns, if you look at the construct of the altar, it's fortified by four horns. All right, let me get this. Let me get a precept real quick. Second Ezra, what did I write down? I wrote this down earlier because I wanted to talk about it. Second Ezra 10 verse 21. Yeah, Second Ezra 10 verse 21. Right. It says, for thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed. Right. When you see these four horns coming up and destroying our altars, destroying our temple, taking our damn land, their altar is now being placed in front of everybody. Their four horns, the altar of the so-called white man. That's how they got all this power and got all this power to be established above all the rest of the nations through involuntary slave labor. It put them ahead to where now they're in front of everybody, right? Especially America. That's how America became the superpower that it is, through sugarcane, through cotton, through various textiles and exports they did through enslaving us. They literally, their altar is literally here in front of us and now established on top of us. That's that damn lead weight over the top of that woman in the ephah in what is that? Is that Zechariah 5? Yeah, Zechariah 5. That's that damn lead weight. That's their altar over us. The damn curses, bro. That is God is so good that he showed us these things. So we actually that's one thing I love about being in the truth. We now understand why things happen and how to get out of it, bro. And the Lord prophesied it in such a way that the pieces are just here for us to just put together about these four horns, about these four beasts in Daniel chapter 7, about this great red dragon in Revelation chapter 12, about the woman in the ephah and the wickedness the wickedness that was inside the ephah. Like all these things, it's so clear when you actually just sit back and just try to analyze and match up history with the Bible. Like I love it. I love it so much, man. But let's go to verse 20. It says, and the Lord showed me 4 carpenters, right? It says, then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered, scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, right? Proving that that's talking about captivity, right? It says, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it, right? Now it's talking about the horns of the Gentiles. It's showing you that these are other nations. Like that, it literally proves that these horns are other nations. But it also talks about right here, scattered Judah. It's where he can lift up his head. That's how you know that that's captivity. So that proves everything we've basically established in verse 18, right? So now it says these carpenters come to fray these horns. Let's look at this carpenter, right? Let's look what this is in the Hebrew. Right, Ross. It means a craftsman, artisan, engraver, artificer, skillful to destroy warriors figuratively, right? Now that's something that's very important. Being skillful to destroy. So let's look at, just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's look at where we see this word being used in other places. Let's go to Isaiah 50, was it 56? Is it 56? Is that what I'm looking for? Oh, 54. Isaiah 54, verse 16. How could I forget? Right? It says, behold, I've created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy, right? This is talking about that nuclear fire that's going to be given out. This is talking about them ICBM missiles, the waster to destroy. Like you talk about this, the Tsar bomber, the Satan 2 missile, all these things that can then wipe off nations from this from history, right? It just it blew them up so good, you just forget about them. That's these ways that's been created to destroy. And these smiths, let's look into this smith in the Hebrew, right? Haras, the same word we see for the carpenter, right? The same exact word, got the same exact usages, right? So this is going to be people who have the ability to waste people, who have the ability to destroy, who have the nuclear means to wipe a nation off out of existence, right? These are the carpenters. These are the people who are skillful to destroy. These are the smiths that's going to wipe off this white man's altar off the planet, right? This is going to headed up the BRICS, led by Russia, right? Because you see in those 4 horns, what come out of them 4 horns is also the people who's heading up what? NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty, right? Treaty Organization. Those people, the altar of the white man, them putting their wealth together and their economy together to be a superpower on this earth, right? So these people, these carpenters who are skillful to destroy, who have the ability to be the smith to create these wasters that are skillful to destroy, they're going to destroy these people, right? The same people who scattered us into the Americas. This is our salvation. But who are these people? Let's go into this thing called the BRICS. Let me see if I really could just Google it right here. The BRICS. Let's talk about them damn BRICS. Let's see. Right, this is that damn counter economy because like NATO is the white man's altar, pulling their power and their financial structures together to be a superpower. This is the counter to that, right? As they rise, BRICS rise, and especially nowadays, you see a lot of nations coming together trying to join BRICS because they know who the winning team is going to be, right? It's almost as if they've read the Bible. It's almost as if they've actually. Is a God man will really start pushing for power. It will, right? And hopefully it's Vladimir Putin. I'm not saying it's Vladimir Putin. I'm not giving a false prophecy, but it sure would be great if it was him. Go ahead and press that button right now, right? But like I was saying before, I digress. Those, like you have NATO, them pulling their power together, their financial and economic structure together, and the counter to that is BRICS, which is, well, I'm just going to read this. BRICS is a grouping of the world economies of Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa, right? South Africa coming up later, right? Just being, I think they're a part of it fully now. It's lesser member, just like how you have the damn Medes with the Medes and the Persians, right? One's the real true guys, and the other people's just there, just get damn amalgamated, right? Damn allies of Russia. But the main four players, these four carpenters, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, they're pulled together just like how the so-called white man and his damn horns is all pulled together, right? And we see that these people was created by God, right, to be these carpenters who all have the nuclear ability to fray these damn horns to where their altar is destroyed for our salvation, right? This, right, and that too. Keep an eye on that, because I've heard in the news this, I believe, what this year's BRICS summit was drew so much world interest, right? You know why that is? Because these guys is about to be that lone superpower in a minute. And all praises. Give a round of applause to the Lord for that, right? Because you know why? You know why we should give the round of applause to the Lord for that? And them a lot of nations trying to join with them, trying to put in applications to join BRICS and stuff like that. Because the stronger they get and the closer they get ready to wipe NATO off the planet, to wipe America off the planet, to wipe all their allies off the planet. That is our salvation, man. Through that fire, the elect, the 1/3 and the elect, right, get brought through that fire and into our kingdom, so we get joined back into our Father again, man. And what a good day that would be. Let me finish this out though. It says BRICS is a grouping of world economies, just like how NATO is. It says Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America, formed by the 2010 addition. Yeah, see, like I said before, the addition of South Africa to the predecessor BRIC, right? Because it used to just be BRIC. The four carpenters by them, they're lonesome. It says the original acronym BRIC, or now the BRICS, was coined in 2001 by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill to describe fast-growing economies that will collectively dominate the global economy by 2050. So it's already prophesied. Oh my God, I forgot about this. It's crazy. I read this a long time ago when I was first going to Zechariah chapter 1, right? I read this and completely forgot about it. The white man over here has already prophesied that they will dominate the world, the global economy by 2050. So their days was already numbered. As it is, it was already numbered. They don't even know about the prophecy of Zechariah 1 about the carpenters has come to fray or to destroy or make these horns to tremble, right? They don't even know nothing about that. But even if it doesn't happen, it will happen. But even if that weren't the case about that prophecy, BRICS would already have dominated. By this economist right here, per his words, per his prophecy that he's given, by 2050 they would have outpaced of America. They would outpace NATO. We almost there, bro. What do you say? Look at Charlie Yargabar, right? And so we're halfway there on their watch, bro. Just like how it says in what's that, Second Esdras, though it tarry, wait, just watch, man. We seeing this happen right now. Bro. God is so good. God is such a just grand power, right? But going back into this break, let's finish this out, right? All right, y'all, when y'all get a chance to look at the BRICS, because I don't want to spend too much time. I want to still dive off into that video some more. But it says in Zechariah 1 verse 21, then said I, what come these to do And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. So these people have come to destroy them, cause them to shrivel, bro, to where we get saved. Because when we see in Zechariah, let's go into that. Zechariah, just real quick, man. Zechariah, whoa, why didn't he give me that? There we go. Zechariah 13 verse 8 is, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, and the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third through the fire. What is that fire? That fire is that nuclear fire that the BRICS is going to put on NATO and America. Right? That's what that is. And all of our people who don't want to repent, even Errol Spence, even me, even y'all out there who hear this, all of our people who don't want to repent and endure until the end, they are going to be that 2/3 that gets caught in that fire. The only people who's going to get saved from this fire and brought through this fire is the 1/3. And it says it verbatim, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. Right? You know why all that's going to happen? It's because they're going to be the first fruits of the kingdom, brought unto the bonds of the covenant, agreed to it, new covenants on earth, right? And then we exist as a sovereign people with our God with us. And the rest of the heathen are going to have to acknowledge us as the seed which the Lord has blessed. And all that is important to give to our brothers and sisters. All this is important information for you to know. We don't, and when Errol Spence came by, we don't have enough time to go into all this. We don't got enough time to pull up geopolitics and do stuff like that. But we can tell you how we got to America, how we left Judea, what's going to happen to the people who scattered you, how they're going to be destroyed, what your kingdom looks like. This is what Tajudai gave him in a very short amount of time, and we touched all of it, right? So going back into where is it? Let's go back into that video, right? We talked about the bridge. We talked about a lot of things.
They drove us out of Israel, then we went into West Africa. And once we was in West Africa, you ever heard of Mansa Musa, the richest man on earth? We was over there dwelling in around 1500s. Prince Henry came and started taking us from the west coast of Africa to different parts of America. What a lot of to different parts of America. You know what I'm saying? So that's how some of us got in the Caribbean, some of us in Brazil, some of us in different spots.
So y'all get
and we went into all that. Some of us went to the Caribbean, some of us went to various parts of the West Indies, various parts of the Americas. We went into that. We showed who would be prophetically the ones who scattered us, who and how they would be destroyed.
Ones that's in America predominantly from the tribe of Judah. That's the same tribe Christ came from.
Why you got them two on it?
Because they was talking about in the song Kodak Black. No, he an Israelite. He's from the tribe of Kanye said we the real Jews. That's what he got all that money took away because he know who we really is. The scriptures just say we was melanated people. They say the Jew. They called us nigga in the Bible.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, I want to jump back to this right about. Hold on, let me go back.
We was melanated people. That's what he got all that money took away because he know who we really is.
And people, you have a lot of celebrities who want to talk about how we're Hebrews, about how we're Israelites. We have various celebrities hit up camps, like literally, like in the DMs and things like that, about how they want to inquire, or they already know themselves about information and seek out answers for things. Because when you go out in the public and announce Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be Israelites, right, to be the actual true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob over here in the Western Hemisphere, right? Because that's where our ministry is. We're on the Western Hemisphere. Like I acknowledge there's Israelites in Africa and various. We're in all nations, like our Christ said. I acknowledge that, but my ministry is over here in America, specifically Dallas, Texas, right? But when you go on the internet and you go and prophesy, not really prophesy, propagate that Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are Israelites, they want to cancel you. They want to take money out of you. They want to not do business with you. They want to run your name through the dirt, and you end up losing all these. You end up losing all these endorsements and all these deals. Right? That's why Christ even said, "What profit a man if he gained the whole world? What profit a man if he gained the whole world but lose his soul?" Because there will come a time where our people will get money. There will become a time where people have influence and a financial structure built off of their name. But a lot of them, right? A lot of them will know that they're Israelites and not do anything with their information and just sit there and sit on their damn talents. And we know what Christ says about the people who do that. You can have all the money and wealth you want over here in America, right? But what is that going to profit you when all that wealth turns to nothing? When you wake up one day, Brixton did all these things, the damn dollar's worth nothing. What then? You could have multiplied your talents. A lot of these celebrities can multiply their talents, but choose not to, right? Some of them will do some things behind closed doors and kind of show some people here and there, but they're not going to propagate it because they don't want to lose all their things. Because here's the thing: this world stands on the fact that we don't know who we are. Because going back into Jeremiah, let's go back to Jeremiah 17 verse 4. We always go into this, but I want to make a point because she's been saying something that I've been chewing on for a minute now. Chief was talking about this world isn't made for us, right? And you got to sit back and think about, oh my God, there's so much evidence of that, right? Just off of things that we see about how the way the white man treats us, about how even in their books right now, we're 3/5 of a human, X, Y, Z. There's so many. We'd be here all day just doing it. You got to listen just off of that. But think about it like this. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let me read this. I'm going to read this and we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to prove that real quick. It says, Jeremiah 17 verse 8, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land in which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my name, which shall burn forever. Right? So leaving your heritage, we tell people on the streets this all the time. Leaving your heritage is your culture, your nationality, who you are, your language, everything. Right? To where you are a blank sheet. When Israelites are a blank sheet, the curses end up happening. That's that lead, like I said before, that lead weight that's on the woman in the ephah, right? The curses. The whole world is now against you. You have to really think about that. When we're wicked, the entire world is literally changed to where we do not prosper as a nation, as a whole. It literally is like that. And it's like that through the curses. Because look at this. I'll just show some real fast. Deuteronomy 28:16. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field." Let's analyze this, right? Since the Lord saw us not keep the commandments, since the Lord sees us still not keeping the commandments, he made it to where there's something will come thousands of years after when he said this, that the whole world will come together to create something called the triangular trade, the slave trade, right? The damn Dutch, the English, Americans, Spanish, French, various other white countries, all the damn horns, really, right? Came together. They all came together and led the whole world against you, to enslave you, to move you into different places and create a power structure that you remain at the bottom from slavery all the way until 2023. The whole world is now against you through your sins. The whole reality that you see in the world changes due to us not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because how can we be cursed? How can we be cursed in the city? There has to be a power structure created to where that you stay at the bottom and never rise. The whole world has to create, no matter where you go. Think about this. You go to Mexico, it's the same thing. You go to Canada, it's the same thing. You go to Africa, the Hamites treating you the same way. You go to Japan. And I've talked to some Japanese people about what happens to black people over there. I talk to various people. I meet a lot of people every single day, right? What I do. But you got to think about the curses, bro. The curses, when we sin and the curses are now applicable to Israel, the whole world has to change to accommodate that. The Lord literally has to change the entire perception and reality to where we are at the bottom. That's how all these curses can exist. Because if it's not that way, there will be no way for these curses to be consistent along the board. Look at this. Let's get some more. Let's look at this one. Deuteronomy 28:28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as one gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Right? How is the only way we can be like that? How is the only way we can be like that? Like, think about what causes, because this is talking about people being bugged out. What causes people to be bugged out? Just think about this. Think about it based off of what I've said before about how the whole world in reality has to change. What causes people to be bugged out? Drugs. Did we create these drugs in a scientific factory? Like how they do? Are we in charge of Big Pharma? No. But they're in charge of that and push that towards all of us. Push that towards our nation. Drop that inside of our neighborhood. Drop guns inside of our neighborhoods till we kill each other. Till we do these drugs. Taught us how to flip these drugs. Taught us how to create these drugs. That's something that's been given. The whole world has to change for these curses to exist. That's why it's going to be a paramount thing when we're righteous again, because we're like that type of blessing that we're going to have. Like when you look at verse 1, Deuteronomy 28 verse 1, and it shall come to pass if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Right? It says, we always stop at 1, but verse 2, and all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, and thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. When we're righteous in the kingdom again, bro, these blessings are going to chase after us. And the only way the blessings can chase after us is the way you perceive the world and the way anybody perceives the world has to fundamentally change. That's why when you put both of those together, the blessing and the curses, that's why when Chief said something about how the whole world is against us, you know why? Because we're sinners. Because we're sinners. The kingdom is within us. All we have to do is keep the law. All we got to do is believe in the Son. That's all we have to do in the entire world. The whole paradigm will shift. Just like how Christ said, the first shall be last and last shall be first. Like I said that what's that video we just dropped? With David Lynn's what's his name? Disciple. At the very end of it, because he mentioned the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Christians be saying that, but don't know what that means. They don't know what that looks like, and they're not prepared for it. Because what that means is a total reshaping of the world. Just like when you see in Revelations 20, either 21 or 22, about the new heaven and the new earth. That's a complete different change in the world, and people not ready to see that. Us being practicing Israelites who look into prophecies, we don't even know how good that even looks. We can only think about how good that looks. That's how drastically different it's going to be. That's why I always bring this precept out. Psalms 1 verse 26. And it says, matter of fact, let me see what this says in the other translations. Let's see what the NLT says. Let's see what that's got for me. Psalms 126. It says, when the Lord brought back the exiles to Jerusalem, it was like a dream. We were filled with laughter, and we sang for joy. And the other nations said, what amazing things the Lord has done for them. Yes, the Lord has done amazing things for us. What joy, right? You see that? That's what it's going to be. What did Malak say? Malak Yahweh said, the parable of Lazarus. That's the first shall be the last, and last shall be first. The type of what we imagine as far as what the kingdom is going to be like, it's going to exceed that. It's going to exceed that. Because what are dreams? What happens in your dreams? Things that are unimaginable, things that don't make no sense, and it's crazy that this is happening. That's what the kingdom is going to look like on a grand scale, on a positive scale, right? That's our blessing. And when it's like that, a result of that is world peace. Like it says in Isaiah 2 and Micah chapter 4 about how the nations will put take their spears and their swords and put them into, and basically change them into gardening tools, things like that. And nation shall not raise up sword against nation anymore, neither shall nation learn war anymore. That's world peace. When have we ever seen that? Think about, when have we ever seen peace in your freaking immediate neighborhood? But the world is going to have that. That's why when it talks about the blessing of Abraham, is about us having a blessing and all nations shall be blessed. Why? Because our rulership was a byproduct of our rulership, world peace and prosperity. Christians want to take that and think, oh, Christ died for everybody. No, that's not what that's talking about. It's what these Gentiles are going to get, what these goy are going to get, what these filthy stinking goy are going to get, right, is a byproduct of what comes from us in our rulerships. That. What are you talking about? That new heavens and that new earth. That's what we're gonna get, man. Then that's what we can get if we actually come back to God, bro. It ain't too difficult.
Scriptures just say we was melanated people. They say the Jew, they called us nigga in the Bible. And then they wrote the Bible.
They did. They called us. We always bring this up, but I want to just show it. I just want to show it just in case brother ever watched this video, right? They call us nigga in the Bible, Acts 13. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger, right? As Seleucus of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up from Herod the Tetrarch and Saul, right? It calls him nigger. And this isn't Niger, the damn, what is that, country, right? I hate when people do that, right? It's talking about Niger, even though this was written 500, was it at least 500 years before that country even existed? So that doesn't make any sense. And when you look at this word, let's see, Simeon called Niger, right?
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
So they pronounce it the same exact way same. I'm tripping. Same exact way we do, right? Like nigger. That's what this word is. When you look at it, it just means black. It's a surname of the prophet Simeon. Strong's definition, nigger, Latin origin, black, right? And they'll be like, a Christian. It'd be funny. Christians be backpedaling so hard on the scripture. They say, well, that was just Simeon. That doesn't mean all the rest of them are black. Okay, let's go with that. Let's just say it was just him, right? The only way somebody can have a black child is the parents have to be black. If their parents are black, the man and woman is black, right? Their parents have to be black. So that means there's a whole bunch of black. There has to be a lot of black Jews. So we have credence for the Jews to be black then, or called so-called black people. Like you see how that is. Like you hear that somebody, we're just Simeon. That's because they don't know how they can't deal with it, so they just relent to it and give a BS answer. But when you look at this in other translations, I think it calls him the black man. Let me see. I think it might be the NLT. Where is this at? Yes, is among the prophets and teachers of the church of Antioch, a church at Antioch of Syria, were Barnabas, Simeon, called the Black Man. And so if they want to play in a game and call it Niger, right, or say it's not talking about the N-word, it literally says in the NLT, the Black Man. So like I said, if he's black, his parents have to be black. That means their parents are black. That means their parents are black. And it just keeps on squaring and squaring and squaring to where there's a lot of black people who are Jews. So that gives us credence to believe that there are a massive amount of black people that are Jews. Like, you see how that works? And then while we're at it, we look at that word. Let's look at this word. Let's do this. Let's just type in the N word with the hard ER, right? It says this is nigger, right?
Nigger.
Yeah, see, that's wow. This I felt a little offended by the way they said that. I'm not gonna lie. But it says a contemptuous term for a black or dark-skinned person. When you look right here, you look for the etymology of it. Look what this says. Latin. Niger goes into the 16th century, which just so happens to be when they put us in, when they scattered us and put us in the transatlantic slave trade, it became nigger. You see that? Which is the same word. It's like how it says Niger right there. Let me zoom in so y'all can see that. Right? Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all can see that where it says origin from the English to the Latin, or from the Latin to the English to be nigger, right? Let's go back and see if that's the same word in Acts chapter 13. All right, let's see. Same exact word. Same exact word of Latin origin. Same exact thing. Right? So this is a black person. that is a black human being, sir. When Christian apologists want to try that shenanigan, that'd be so funny, man. Like they'd be so. It's like to me, I don't even think. I used to just think, oh, they're just. I don't even want to take it that way, bro. I don't want to take it that way. I don't think they're freaking in a delusion. I think they just willfully ignorant. Just willfully ignorant.
That's how you so good in the ring, because the Most High bless you with that. So never forget that, and you come from respect. Give me Deuteronomy 76 right quick, y'all. Give me Deuteronomy 6. Get it. Let me show you something. Let me show you what the Lord think about you. This is the only way you're going to get somewhere in life. Anything else you got, man, if you ain't got the Heavenly Father, it's going to come to naught. All right, give me Wisdom of Solomon 9:6. Yeah, Deuteronomy 7:6. Wisdom of Solomon 9:6 right now.
For thou art an holy people.
You are holy people, go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God.
To the Lord thy God. Possess a pronoun. You only belong to him, nobody else, go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He chosen you, Jay, go ahead.
To be a special people.
Read on.
Unto himself.
Read on.
Above all people.
Not equal.
Above all people.
Above all people. So you above all other nationalities out here. Because you come from the Heavenly Father. He dealt with our fathers like he ain't dealt with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
That are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. And that's the heritage, that's the lineage you come from. Even when we at the bottom, we still find a way to rise to the top because the Lord put that spirit in us. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're doing wicked right now, you got to come back to the commandments. Watch this.
But here's the thing. This is what he showed him, right? Deuteronomy 7:6. We're a holy people unto the Lord. Because like I said in the very beginning of this, the world wants us to be nothing. The world calls us nothing. They treats us like nothing. They show through the content of their character that we are nothing. That's what they've shown. So what's important to know is, like I said like Christ said in Luke chapter 21, we'll be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem will be trodden down to the Gentiles. That means somebody is going to be standing up in your place, calling themselves to be Jews, calling themselves to be Israelites. What we need to do is what we need to do, and we need to tell our people, what our people need to know is, you are an Israelite. You're a holy person. Though the world calls you common or nothing or a black man, you are a holy person. Somebody's impersonating who you are. You're greater than what the world tells you you are. Like, so, and the thing is, people think just because brothers be celebrities or be famous or something like that, they're not going through nothing, or they don't have insecurities based off of their race or based off of their nationality. But we never lose that. What didn't Jay-Z say something like that? Broke nigga, rich nigga, poor nigga, we all still nigga. Like we're all still a nigga to them. And that's even though EJ out here making money like that, even though EJ's winning fights, I mean, he just lost a fight, right? But you win some, you lose some, man. But you live, right? If you know what that's from. But even though he's winning fights and stuff like that and making his name known throughout the earth, he still has to look himself in the mirror every day and realize he's a black man. He can get pulled over at any time and go to jail, right? That could happen. So it's important for us to know that we're something great. It's important to know that we're just that the Lord actually has a plan for us, because the world treats us like a vessel with no pleasure. Let me throw that out. Hosea 8:8. Yeah, Hosea chapter 8, verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Right? That's how they treat us. We're a vessel that has no pleasure. Like they don't see nothing redeeming about us. And that's what they propagate. That's why every time you see a movie, that even if a East Indian come over here, damn Dodhead, right? They come over here, freaking slushy goblins, right? Let me stop for YouTube, give me, right? When they come over here, they'll make a movie and write a script or something like that. When you see the black man, the one or two black people in there, what are they going to be doing? What are they going to be looking like? They're probably going to have a do-rag on. They're probably going to have pants sagged. They're probably going to have a gun. They're probably going to be shooting somebody. They're probably going to act, quote-unquote, act hood or speak hood, right? And I'm saying it like that so we understand we understand the minutia of it, like how they just have a stereotype for us and force fit that upon everybody, right? And that's niggas. That's how they're going to be, just disregard, right? That's how they treat us. That's how they treat us. That's how they always have treated us. And no matter how much money you get, no matter how famous your name is, no matter how big you are on TikTok, because that's a thing now, right? When you go home at night and you go in the bathroom and then look yourself in the mirror, you're still a black person and you know how the world treats you. So it's important to let our people know that they're more than that. Right? That's what this whole thing is about, really. And that you have something the nations don't have. While I'm at it. Whilst I'm at it, right? Romans 9, verse 4. And I like how I remember I was watching I remember that one Christian dude in context with what is his name? Jim Green. I think he had like a live. He had a live the other day, and I saw him trying to invite Israelites on. But he specifically did it during the time where Israelites are at camp. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, right? But I saw an Israelite try to bring out Romans 9, and they wanted to read it in the ESV like it was going to help them. But when you read it in the ESV, it makes it worse, because a Christian can play the game of where I'm reading verse 4, and it says, and I'm gonna be like a Christian. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. Well, they'll just say, oh, see, it just says pertaineth. That doesn't mean exclusive, right? That's what they'll say. But when it said, no, let's read it in the ESV because it helps us out. We're gonna put it in a modern English so we can all get the understanding. So let's put it. You put it in the ESV, right? It really makes it worse, because it says they are Israelites to whom. Wait, I'm trying to read it like KJV. They are Israelites, and to them belong the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the worship, and the promises. That makes it worse. Like, you can't really even play a game with that, because before you like, pertaineth doesn't mean exclusive, but this says belong to. I'm like, man, y'all niggas be blacks, bro. Like and I mean BLACCs, bro. Be the little train that could, bro. The little engine that could. That's that's what they be, bro. I'm not even trying to sidebar, but it'd be funny when I see it. But it says they are Israelites, and to them belong the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the worship, and the promises. Right? That's what all belongs to us, being Israelites. Right? That's the entirety of the Bible. That's just anything regarding theology is for the Israelites. That's what Paul said. Y'all's great Savior who wrote Galatians, the 3rd chapter. That's the biggest cut for the Hebrew Israelites. I mean, the person who wrote that also wrote this in Romans 9. And that's what we have to give our brothers and sisters, right? And looking at this, I brought this out before, just in case EJ see this. The adoption, when you look at this word for adoption right here, which pertains to the Israelite.
Strong's G 5206. We are Thesia. We are Thesia.
We are Thesia, right? It's used. Let's see how it's used. It says adoption as sons, the relationship which God was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites in preference to all other nations, the nature and condition of true disciples in Christ, who by receiving the Spirit of God into their souls become the sons of God. My God, bro. Like this really, just this right here, this dispels so much of Christianity. Like it dispels so many things, right? Because if Christ died to open up for everybody, why does the usage of the adoption, like he died so people can be adopted in, why in the Greek euthanasia? Let me say it again. I want to get it just as wide as they do, right?
Strong's G 5206. We are Thesia. We are Thesia.
We have to see. I was way off. We have to see it, right? Adoption. He died to give that, right? It says the relationship which God was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites in preference to all other nations, right? He prefers Israel. Like I said before, about how everything regarding the theology, as far as the Bible speaking, was given to the Israelites. The adoption, the law, Christ's death, all of that. The Lord was pleased to give that and to establish that relationship between us and him. Then it says the nature and condition of true disciples of Christ. So that lets you know the only true disciples of Christ have to be Israelites. Because if the prerequisite to this is the relationship which God established between himself and the Israelites, and to make all this work, right, to where it doesn't contradict, the true disciples have to be Israelites. And it says, who by receiving the Spirit of God into their souls become sons of God. That must mean it has to be the Israelites, and that would be congruent with Acts chapter 2. You see in Acts chapter 2, when the Holy Spirit is given out, who does the Holy Spirit descend upon? Think about, let's go into that. Let's go to Acts 2. Whoa, that is not what I want. Acts 2. Right. Let's see who was there, and let's see who it descended upon. Let's get to the point. Acts 2 and 4. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And long story short, they heard the mighty works of God. Who did the Holy Spirit first fall on? Jews. To prophesy to Jews from other nations. It's so clear, bro. Like there's no way we read this and now we get like there's no way you can Galatians 3 your way out of this. That's their new well, it's not their new move, but that's their move. They try to Galatians 3 their way out of everything, and it just be crazy, man. Because like that, it just don't work. It just don't work, man. But all of this, I digress. All of this, I brought us here to just show this thing. Oh, one more thing, right? Because I mentioned this before about how it says, who are the Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption A Christian, we've had this happen to us on the streets, I think 3 times, where we'll bring out Romans 9, verse 4, and it says, to whom pertaineth the adoption. They'll be like, see, that just pertains. It doesn't mean it could pertain to anybody. It's not exclusive, right? Next time a Christian tells you that, look at the way the word pertaineth is illustrated right here. You see how it's italicized, right? That means that's an addition. That's not there in the Greek. So when he's saying this, he's really saying to whom the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. That's why the other translations render it as where it says to the Israelites belong these things. So never let a Christian hit you with that ever, because that's weak. That's weak as hell, bro. That's what the chief said. That's 7 days, bro. It's weak.
Psalm chapter 9 and 6 says, "For though a man be never so perfect among the children of man."
So we regular people fluid. You get a little money. It's perfect to everybody else in the world. But watch this. Go ahead.
Yet if thy wisdom be not with him.
So, but if you ain't got the wisdom of the Lord, go ahead. Knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, knowing what you're supposed to do, go ahead.
He shall be nothing regarded.
Nothing regarded. So at the end of the day, everything else you got is vanity.
And that's a key point, bro. If you ain't got this wisdom, if this wisdom and knowledge is not in you, you're not going to be stable. And I mean that in like a mental stage, and I also mean that spiritually wise. Because when we don't have the law, let's go back to the scriptures. When we don't have the law, we don't have the understanding thereof, we become aimless as a nation. Right? That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Oh, that is not what I wanted either. Did I write the wrong one down? This one. Proverbs 29, verse 18. This is where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Right? When we don't have the law, statutes, and commandments of God, when we don't embody that, when we don't move as a nation off of that, we become aimless as a nation. What happens when you become aimless as a nation? Everybody starts doing what's right in their own eyes. The things that we saw in Judges, right? And a lot of people got to stop pulling Judges for precepts for certain things, because a lot of things that was happening in Judges, people were only doing things that was right in their own eyes, and that's the same type of spirit our people are moving in now, right? A lot of people want to say, oh, well, if it's not hurting nobody, it's okay to do. No, we can't be like that, right? Because if we're going to do that, we can't say anything to somebody who is okay with grape, right? Because that's another thing that's been plaguing the nation here recently for some reason, right? Some people are trying to use the scriptures to say grape is okay. Like, see, when we don't have the Levitical priesthood set up, that's why people feel like it's okay to say things like that, right? And if I'm saying it like that because of YouTube, I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about, right? We don't have the law, statutes, commandments like being established here, the Levitical priesthood enforcing these laws, statutes, commandments. You have people doing things like that. We have people doing things with kids. We have people saying it's okay to just not keep these laws, but keep certain things. It's okay. You see just a lot of backslidery and just rampant niggerdom, right? That's what it is. That's I watched that Dave Chappelle thing. He said niggerdom, man. But that's what we see. It's just rampant. It's just rampant, bro. We need something that's stable, that's not changing a moral code that's set, and then boom, we're just sticking by it. And that's the law. We have to have this law set up. We have to live in a nation that stands upon this and governs itself by it. Right? We have to. Because if we don't, we really just become just like the Gentiles. Right? And let me get this. Let's do this. Matthew 5, verse 13. It says, Christ says right here in Matthew 5, verse 13, ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Right? So let's unpack this real quick. What do you do with salt, with food? You put it on food to make it taste better. To make it taste better, bro. What do? We're the ones that make the world better. You know why? Because we have law, statutes, and commandments that when people see us keeping, they admire us and say we're a wise and understanding people. Like it says in Deuteronomy. Let's get that. We're going to come right back. We're going to get that. Come right. We're right around town, man. See, this is why I need Matati here so I can do my SpongeBob references and have somebody right here know what I'm talking about. It's Deuteronomy 4, verse 5. It says, "Behold, I've taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." That's how we make the world better, because we have the law, statutes, commandments. We have the understanding. We have an ideology and a culture that people can look to and build off of. That's how we make the world better. That's how we offer the salt, right? I know a lot of Israelites like say, "Oh, we can play sports better than everybody. We're better than everybody than everything." That's cool. If you're gonna break it down like that, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But when you sit back and think about it, it has to be the salt that we have has to be the law, statutes, and commandments. It has to be, right? Because it fits the rest of this chapter. It says, I'm gonna read this again. I'm gonna keep going. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? Is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and trodden under the foot of men." Oh, I didn't even touch that part. Like, it's good for nothing. Just think about salt. If salt doesn't have flavor anymore, what's the point of it? Right? It's good for nothing. Just like how we are. If we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we're just going. Right? And you see Paul referencing that. Romans chapter 2, 26. I think it's it's 25. Romans 2, verse 25 is, "For circumcision verily profiteth," if you're a Jew, "for circumcision verily profiteth if thou keep the law, but if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision." We know that when you break the laws of God, you don't literally become uncircumcised. What does that mean? That means you become spiritually a Gentile. You're good for nothing. You have the circumcision. You have you have your nationality for no reason if you're not going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, because you've been in what did it say in Revelation 12? You've been covered with the sun and the moon and the stars, the luminaries, the law, the thing that enlightens your eyes. We've been given that, and if we walk away from that, we become like the goy that doesn't have that. The people who's supposed to look at us and be like, "This is a wise and understanding people." That's why when you look at this word right here, for uncircumcision, see, it's having the foreskin uncircumcised. This is usages, right? This isn't literal, so it can't be this one. So it's got to be these two: a Gentile, a condition in which the corrupt desires rooted in the flesh were not yet extinct. So what? You become like a Gentile who just move after their own lusts. They weren't given the law. They don't do holiness by nature. They have to be forced to do so. But our nature is to keep these laws. That's why you see brothers keeping, like, bro, we be talking to people on the streets, and they're already keeping certain things in the law, right? They're law unto themselves. A lot of our brothers, matter of fact, here recently, I've seen a lot of brothers say they don't even eat pork. A lot of brothers and sisters say they wouldn't do the X, Y, and Z. They do specific things in the law, right? Already. That's our nature. That's who we're supposed to be. But when we break these laws, we become like the goy, so we're good for nothing. You're an Israelite for no reason. It says, "But to be cast out and trodden under the foot of men," captivity really. It says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are that are in the house. That's how we do. Just like how it says in Deuteronomy chapter 4. People look at our laws, they look at us keeping these laws, and they're supposed to look at us as a wise and understanding people. We're like a candle set on a candlestick, and it gives light to everybody else. That's how we're light to the Gentiles. And how we will be when people acknowledge us as the people, as the seed which the Lord has blessed, like it says in Isaiah chapter 61. I digress. Let me keep going. Verse 16, it says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Right? So it says, see your good work. This is how you know it's talking about the law. Because what are good works? Like what are good works? These are your acts. I usually let your light so shine by doing these good works. And what is that light? Let's get Proverbs 6 verse 23. It says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Right? To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. And that's not literal. Right? The evil woman right here is not literal. That's what these doctrines, the ideologies of the so-called white man, ideologies of the rest of the nations. We keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. We have the understanding. This is our lights. This is how we let our light shine. This is how we be a light set on a candlestick. Right? Verse 16. It says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Right? And that's how we try to be. We out there on the streets keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, teaching each other, teaching people, teaching our brothers and sisters, so that they start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, so that people can see their fringes, see their beards, see their dietary order, see their morality, and now they want to start doing the same thing. That's how we're a light unto each other. Christ was a light unto us, right? Us in the truth were a light unto the rest of our brothers and sisters, and then us as a nation as a light unto the Gentiles. So that's pretty much it on that. Let's see if there's any more of this video left.
You ain't got the wisdom and the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, knowing where you came from, you're going to be regarded as nothing. So the only way you're going to be regarded as something is to get into the scriptures and know where you came from, bro.
That's right.
That's the only way. Know you an Israelite, your true ethnicity. I'm going to give you another one also. I fly now, everything.
Instagram, all the information, YouTube.
Yeah, we used to be in the, hold on, I used to be in the club. We used to be in the club together and everything. We snapped it up before. Watch it.
Yeah, I see y'all in the summer, everything. Y'all know the same people. You know, the 5T and that.
Yeah, you know, the other EJ too. That mean you outside. Okay. What's that shit over here in Deep Ellum? We was at over here, right here, the club Stars and Spirits. We was outside of Stars and Spirits.
Oh shit, I didn't even see that. Hey James, see, I didn't even pay attention to the chat here recently. Here, do this. I'm about to close up anyway here in a hot second. Hit this email right here. There we go. Hit that right there. Send your questions there. And I got you because I'm about to close up here in a hot second.
Yeah, bro. Know you're an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin.
That's
now
right.
You know that, so when somebody come up, of course I am.
My father is from the stuff.
This is
For real?
Benjamin. So-called Commonwealth and Dutch Caribbeans.
But yeah, check this out. He said his father being so he said his father being to it too, right? This is one of the instances where the Lord is really giving him a chance. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 6 is, I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase, right? So his dad probably told him some of his dad's into it. I mean, he probably did. I mean, he had to because he knows about it, right? So his dad showed him something, and then right here, we're now showing him something. It's just like how Paul planted, right? He came in and gave a breakdown, planted seeds, and then here comes Apollos backdooring and giving a deeper breakdown, and the Lord's actually making something come out of that. Just like how we're doing the same thing. That's crazy. But I think that's pretty much it.
That's the tribe right there. You a Benjamite. You a Benjamite. So when you fight Paul for next time, tell him I'm a motherfucking Benjamite. I'm an Israelite. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do this time. But you gotta have a heavenly Father. Even though I knew I was going with Crawford, I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, I would.
You know what I'm saying? I was going with Crawford over there. But you still an Israelite at the end of the day. Me and you from the same tribe. Crawford would be from the tribe of Judah. We all brothers. We all the same people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they gotta put both of y'all in there. Cause can't nobody else hang with us.
Right, who
Gotta
else?
be two Israelites going on. You know what I'm saying? Big, bro. I can get another pick with you before you start.
You still motherfucking know my dad is
man.
Yeah, that's that whole video. I'm gonna drop that whole thing with just that on the channel tomorrow. And I pray y'all was edified, man. I went to a lot of different topics, used as a springboard to basically go from freaking Judea to America, right? Going to various prophecies, damn bricks, four horns, all these things, man. So with that, I'm about to enjoy the pre-atonement Shabbat with my wife and my kids at like 9 p.m. right? With that, I'm gonna say call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai and say